Stranger Things Season 2 is one of the best shows you can watch right now on Netflix. The new seasons of Stranger Things premiered October 27th, 2017 on Netflix, and the complete season is available right now right on the site. The season is set in Hawkins, Indiana, in late October 1984. This show is written by Ross and Matt Duffer. The season is set about 11 months after the events of Season 1, and it is also in Hawkins, Indiana, where the first season was born. The main characters of the show include Will, Mike, newcomer Max, Lucas, Dustin, Nancy, Steve, Chief Hopper, Eleven, and many other returning faces from Season 1 and new characters for Season 2. The show focuses on the continued adventures of Will and his friends. Finally free from the Upside Down, Will Byers is now faced with a new and traumatic evil and visions of a monster that is coming to destroy Hawkins. The monster is known as the Mind Slayer, and these continued episodes haunt Will throughout the season. He and his friends, along with Chief Hopper, must find and stop this evil from destroying the town. On top of this, Eleven, Mike's love interest from Season 1, and the girl with powers who has been supposedly missing since the end of the season, has run away from the safety of Chief Hopper's protection, and now must be found before she can be taken back by the government. As is the norm with this show, the new season also encompasses side action and stories from other characters in the show during each episode, making the whole season a treat to watch and a lot of story to take in. Another part of Season 2 of Stranger Things is the discourse, or formal communication, that is a part of it. One of the main discourses of the show is that of the effects of trauma on children. An article from The Atlantic describes how the traumatic discourse is shown in the show. One of the main examples it uses in this description is a scene in episode 3 of the season where Will is literally engulfed by the Mind Slayer monster. The article describes the scene as visually and audibly jarring, and Will is really traumatized by this action. This is just one of the many moments in the season where characters are traumatized emotionally or physically, showing how trauma is a major discourse and part of the season. The discourse of trauma really is a main part of this season and allows us to feel the pain and connect with the characters on an emotional and physical level. This connection to the characters allows us as viewers to become more invested in the story, helping it further to be considered as good television. Another example of how this show is great television is the great use of videography in the season. This season includes lots of great moments of videography, including great uses of lighting and different angle shots. In television, different types of lighting is used often to convey emotions, dynamics, and to help set mood and pacing in scenes. This show is no exception to this rule. Throughout the season, different scenes utilize different types of lighting to tell the story. The use of lighting throughout the show helps to really solidify the story and moments the scene is trying to portray. The use of different intensities and colors of light to help set the mood is a great example of ways lighting is changed in scenes. A great example of how lighting is used to tell the story is in episode 1 of Season 2, when Will encounters the monster in an episode outside his home. The lighting changes from the warm, subtly lit nighttime setting of his home in the darkness to the dark, blue, and scary-looking outdoors where the monster just is made out from the background. The change in lighting really sets the two parts of the scene apart and helps to install a sense of fear in the viewers themselves. This helps the viewer's suspension of disbelief, allowing the viewer to think that the monster could actually be there for real. This just goes to show you how one of the many examples of how the show uses lighting to help tell the story. Different angle shots are also a great use of videography in the show. Throughout the season, many different angle shots are used, depending on the mood and pacing that is wanted to be shown. For example, in episode 1, eye-level shots are used between Chief Hopper and Eleven at the dinner table. This allows the viewer to connect to the two subjects and to feel like we are on the same level with them. Going along with this, The season also likes to utilize the 180-degree rule at times like this, allowing us to not lose track of where the subjects are in the scene. This helps the viewer to not become confused with the scene, but instead allow the viewer to simply enjoy it and take in the story. Actions like this are part of the good formal elements that this show utilizes, again allowing it to be one of the best shows available on Netflix. Editing is also one of the great treats this show has to offer to its viewers. Editing and sound often can make or break a show, and in this case, they definitely help make it great. Again, being formal elements, the visual and audible techniques used in this show are technologically impressive and vast. Many different types of cuts are used, such as jump cuts in episodes such as episode 2, when Will has an encounter during trick-or-treating. These jarring cuts are used to keep the action moving quickly and keeping the tension of the scene up when the monster is attacking the town. During other times, match cuts are used. Match transitions like these are talked about in an article from FS Stoppers, where the transition is used to seamlessly transition from one end of a scene to the start of another. This vast difference in skill that is used in the different visual techniques lends the viewer a pleasurable viewing experience. It also helps with the narrative of the show. The sound design as well is also great for the show. Throughout the season, sound is used in an impressive manner to lend to the storytelling experience. Great sound effects from monsters to the 80s technology noises all help to craft a show that would not be the same without these effects. The narrative of this show is also really good. The narrative, as previously described, focuses on the adventures of the gang of friends, as well as the adults in the season, as they try to stop the Mind Slayer that will try to attack the town. 11 is also at the center of this narrative, escaping from the protection of Hopper's roof, discovering herself, and eventually returning to help the gang fight the monster. The narrative elements in this season involve careful crafting of the characters, allowing us as viewers to relate to the elements of their personal stories and becoming invested in what happens to the characters themselves. The story arc of each episode leads into the next, making the viewer want to keep watching episode after episode to view the whole story at once. The narrative also is told in such a way to craft an aesthetic distance for the viewer that allows them to be put just in the right place. The story is not so realistic that the viewer feels pain viewing it, but it has a relatable elements, especially to childhood and growing up. This is an example of the culture analysis this season possesses. The daily life elements of the story, such as children going to school, are also great pieces of practical analysis that again allow the viewer to relate to the story. These sections of the show also allow the viewer to have suspension of disbelief and to believe the show is real. All these narrative factors help to lead to this season being a really great season and a really great show. Due to all of this and much more, Season 2 of Stranger Things is one of the best shows available right now on Netflix. If you have not seen this show before, you are doing yourself a disservice if you do not go out and give it a try. The best way to watch the season is to first watch Season 1 and then watch Season 2 in quick succession. All episodes are available to view right now on Netflix, and you can even get a 30-day free trial if you don't have a Netflix subscription. With Season 3 right around the corner, now is a great time to get caught up, or to start this great show. What is there to lose? Go out right now and enjoy a show that really embodies the good show elements that we have been talking about in class. You will not be disappointed. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the show.